Yo, welcome to the Floating Dojo. Today we're going to be doing some more Katsu updates for Road to National season. I have some gameplay into some meta heroes such as Dio, Gravy, and Arachne Marionette. And we're going to be going over some updates to the Katsu deck that I've made over the last couple of weeks and kind of where the deck has landed for me for my RTN in the upcoming weeks. I also will be doing the giveaway winner for the Silver Age deck that I'll be making, as well as the promo cards. So keep an eye on your emails if you want. The video is going to be in here. It's going to be in the next 4 or 5 minutes after the deck updates, and I'll put in who won with the little wheel that I spun to show you all. And yeah, we're going to just jump right in to the updates. So we're sitting up to 3 yellow Descendant Gust Waves, and we are also onto 100 wins again. Going back and forth between 100 wins and spinning wheel kick have been really difficult. I keep kind of picking one, then swapping. But I think I have finally settled down to 100 wins. Not running Cyclone Roundhouse to me makes spinning wheel kick a little bit worse, just in general. I also love the zero cost of 100 wins, and after playing more games and doing more testing, I think I've kind of settled that I prefer 100 wins in general. So we're on 100 wins. We're up to 6 Descendant Gust Waves. We have 2 Salt the Wounds in the deck. I think we had 2 before, I can't remember. And Sapphire Amulet is still in the main board. Still absolutely love this card. It just makes the combo work out so much better. 5-6 cards is crazy, especially when the things that Katsu do are just so unfair in some of these crazy combo turns. The most changes we have really come to our sideboard here. I originally was teching really heavily for the arcane stuff with Verdance, running 83, running Arcane Polarity. I've kind of swapped that out, and I'm now attacking more for the Assassins and Guardians. Those are just the harder matchups we have. And I'm going to kind of get into the cards that we have here. So I'm running Calming Breeze as a 2 of. This is for any Flick Knife hero, especially Assassins, as well as Syndra. You can use these against Syndra. And it just prevents... it prevents Flick Knives. It can turn off some huge spikes on both sides and shut off Mask of Momentum, as well as things like Kiss of Death, the Black Widow triggers and stuff like that with Banishing from Hand. And it can just stuff turns a little bit, which is really nice. If I had Shelters, I would be running Shelters in place here probably. I just don't have Shelters. But I do like Calming Breeze because you can Arsenal it and it still does the thing. You can also Katsu it, so it still works. We're on 3 CNC still. We're on 2 E-Strikes. These are really... I kind of fill these into matchups where it's just everything else doesn't really fit. Earth Heroes, these are really good into the Guardians. These work into. I think it's okay to go over in some matchups as well, over 60. So they kind of just fit wherever you want to fit them. They're just good cards. They do good things. They work with Katsu's plan. The Flick Flacks are still there. We're on 2 Reinforce the Line for the Guardian matchups to try and get over the Victor and... Valda and Pleiades, Lath, whatever other heroes gonna be doing stuff. So I think these work pretty well. I've been liking them. And we're still on the Tenacity, and we're running 1 Overcrowded into the Assassin matchups to try and nullify that Codex of Frailty if we get the chance to. Worst case, it's Katsuable, it's Kadachiable, it's a good card. So just run a 1 up there. We're on the Warmongers still as well. It's just really good into a lot of matchups right now. We're still on our Mask of Momentum and Shuko for Prism and Prism only, and are down to 1 Arcane slot, and it is Nullrune Gloves. This is really a preference thing. You could run Nullrune, the boots, the Tide Flippers, if you want to keep our Arm Piece breaking skills. The matchups where I bring gloves in are mostly Florian and other Vincent and stuff like that, and especially with Florian and the Earth, their legs just nullify the breaking skill anyway. So it's kind of I would rather just have Nullrune Gloves here and get access to something like Snapdragons in the legs, which I've been really liking a lot into the matchups where I don't need that 1 block nearly as much. They get me out of some binds and brick hands a little bit easier, especially after I take tempo. Nothing's worse than just losing it because you draw no go again. And I have honestly found that with this Tempest in here now, this deck just doesn't brick nearly as often. And I had a turn the other day where I drew Harmony, a Blue Whelming, a Retrace, and a Lord of Wind. And but back then, that hand would just be garbage. But we flipped Harmony, it whiffed, but we were able to go Kadachi, into the whelming for 2, into a retrace for 5 after we snapped the whelming. And when this hit, we had our headpiece still available, so we were able to pop it for that. So like it kind of just can get you out of some really awkward hands. And it can also just extend your big turn a little bit if you need to. You know, snapping after a Fluster Fist into Assault the Wind or Tenacity still works really well. So yeah, that's kind of where the deck's sitting today. I still think Katsu is a pretty good fit. I've been really enjoying the matches I've been playing. And yeah, I'm really excited to take this deck in a couple weeks to my RTN and see how it goes. Hope you guys are enjoying your gameplay as well and your RTNs and you're doing well. We're going to jump into that giveaway winner now, the 2 winners. And then we're going to get you some gameplay. So stick around for that. Thank you guys all so much for joining. We had almost 20 people join for that giveaway. I'm going to be picking 2 different winners. The first one I'm going to spin here. You're going to receive 3 promo cards, rainbow foil, cold foil, random stuff from my collection, and I will get a hold of you through your email. Second winner is going to be getting a free Silver Age deck that I will be building myself for you. It will be a random hero, and yeah, I hope you like it, and I thank you guys all so much for joining. Let's give it a spin. And then stay tuned, we do have some more Katsu gameplay coming up after this. So our first winner looks like it's going to be Pablo R. I will get a hold of you. Congratulations. You can have some promo cards coming your way. The second winner for the Silver Age pre-made deck by me is going to be going to either Eon, however you pronounce that. Congratulations. I'll be getting a hold of you as well. In your email. Thank you all so much again. I really enjoyed getting to do this kind of stuff. I had a lot of people join, which is super awesome. The page has been growing quite a bit as well, which is really exciting. So thank you guys so much again. Stay tuned. We have some Katsu gameplay coming up into a Gravy Bones, and then we have another match coming up after that into another deck that has been pretty prevalent in the meta. So thank you guys so much again. Peace out. We are jamming some Classic Constructed Gravy Bones into the Katsu here. This is my Road to Nationals deck. We have elected to go first, so we're going to try and just leak a little damage through, I think, here. It's a pretty good line. We can get some cards in the graveyard, which is good. I think we'll probably just arsenal this Gust Wave here, and we'll probably play the Descendant and the Retrace to get some cards in the bin. Still running Pouncing Lynx in this matchup. A lot of people have been opting to run Mask of Momentum, but I think having the big pop-off turn to take tempo and get better life lead is more efficient. I really don't think Mask of Momentum works as well for us as it does into other aggro heroes like Syndra. I think it's a lot better for Syndra. But I think for us, because we have a lot of cards that like Lord of Wind, right? You don't want to draw that off of Mask of Momentum and then put it in your arsenal, like... Kind of an awkward card to put in there. Can't spell, that's my bad. I'm just going to play this, get one Retrace in there, and we'll probably Arsenal this Gust Wave. They went Dominion, so they don't have any Arsenal protection, so the CNC should be nice in this matchup. That's cool with me. We're going to just... Yeah, we'll probably just pass here. I think it's better to Arsenal this card. They could have the big boat, but... You know, we just gamble they don't, I guess. This is a pretty fun hand that we could play out as long as they don't set up too hard. Running Crown Dominion gives them that free gold to start, so they'll be able to gravy right off the rip. So they may have a little bit of an easier time getting set up. Especially if they have an ally in hand. Or they just call to the grave. That's a good card turn 1. I did opt to go first, purely because I think it's better for Katsu if he gets to stop Gravy from setting up turn 0. Allies don't really bother me too much. We'll see what happens here. I want to gamble and see if he is going to try and trigger that on us first before we do anything. We have a pretty decent power output turn here. So the question is going to be what he decides to do. Because we could just like Descendant into that. I wonder if he's going to hard cast here. He is. There's another resource though. Oh, he's got Dead Threads, it'll be fine probably. Just kidding. Yeah, I was going to say. But they get their boots out now, which is cool. Yeah, we can just take 4 here. That's fine. So they set up 2. They didn't gold baited hook there, which is fair because we could have easily blocked him with this. I think because this Sawbones here has 2 health and it's going to get the ability. I think we probably just descend it into the Sawbones to give us. Kind of want to get this Dishonor in the bin now, so I'm going to pitch the 100 wins so we can Katsu the Dishonor into the graveyard. We'll see if he triggers Chum here. Curious, or could not. We will see. Turret attack gets -1. Okay, so that doesn't kill him. Interesting play with the confrontation there. Could counter it with breaking skills, just do that now, but I think saving the block on that's probably better. Because it still hits, doesn't not hit. So we're still Katsu here. We'll see. It's good to get 1 into the bin here early. We will not Breeze Riders here. I might save this Tempest, to be honest, to Kodachi to kill that Sawbones off. We'll see. I think he's searching to see if he can gravy an ally into his hand, because I'm guessing he doesn't have one for Chum. Which is good for us. We'll play that Bonds. We'll just go straight at him for some damage here. And then it's a tough choice because I mean we could pull this out, or we could pull the Retrace out, and then go Tempest Retrace. Oh, we still have Fluster, which is the only issue. I guess doesn't really. I guess we could pull this out. We'll just go Kodachi, and then yeah, that's fine. Get a little damage over the top. They don't have an ally, and so I'm guessing they're not going to be able to set one up if they don't. We won't Pouncing Wings here. What we could do, though, is we can go Kodachi into Sawbones, pitching the Tempest. Would have been nice to get that in there, but it's not the end of the world. Value-wise, it just makes more sense to pitch the Kodachi. And then we actually can just kill Chum here. I don't know if it's the right play. They don't have their boots anymore. They have 1 gold. And this would be kind of nice to get rid of. And it just gives us a couple more cards in the bin. So I think we're just going to go right at Chum and clear him. Should we? I don't know. Probably not. Because, I mean, like, dealing 7 damage to their face is probably better. But I'm hoping they don't have any more allies to play. So, and that would also give us 5 times we'll hit with that. Which does make Assault come in for 7 here, which is pretty good. But it feels a little early to pop that. Assault for 7 feels bad. I think popping the boots with no block value and popping the mask with no value, just it's not worth it. I think we can wait for a better turn to come out to grab a combo piece or something. We cleared their board state, put them down 2. They have no one in bin. We have a nice little bin set up. We got a nice surging here. We'll see what he goes for here. You can undo that. That's fine. I'm going to want to guess he just doesn't have... Okay, that's fine. That's just 3 damage. I mean, that doesn't really... It's not really anything scary, so I'm just going to take 3 here. That's fine. Taking damage like that when they have an open board, I think, is totally fine. And then unless they just hard cast something here... Oh, nice. They just don't do anything, so that's cool. I like that. We don't have a lot of pieces to play with here, but what we could do is we could surging off of this Salt the Wound, and then we can play the Whelming, the blue one. It's not great, but it's still 2 go. Again, it should pull at least another card out. And then if they just block it out, we'll just Arsenal the Red Surging Strike here and be fine. Oh, cool. That's fine with me. Let's see. Nice. Hopefully it's not off the top. That way they have to get rid of a card from hand if they decide they want to. Which, I'm cool if they do. Because that leaves them down to a 2 card, and they don't. Okay. They either don't have an ally again. But that's okay. We're just going to set up here, get this into the grave, into the arsenal, and then hopefully we can have a big pop-off turn here soon while they have nothing on the board. They don't have any pieces to really set up right now, which is good for us. Okay, there we go. Right. Swing the Whelming just for 2 here. Then we can Arsenal this. And hopefully he doesn't have big boat. He has a big boat. We got the 2 block and then 2 3s from hand. We have a 3 card hand. We could surging into Whelming or something, and or we just block harder and go Kadachi past, you know, something like that. We'll see. Really hard to tell what we're going to do next turn until we see their hand come back and what they're going to throw at us. Oh, he's going to probably flip over our Dishonor, I betcha. Which is pretty good. Or his own Loan Shark if he wants the gold. It's a tough choice. Flips his own Loan Shark. Okay, that's fine. I'd rather see him do that than flip over our Dishonor, because then we just lose access to a target. This is a line, though. This is a hand I want to see. So we just pray he doesn't have the boat here, because this is what we were looking for. This is the hand that we needed. That's cool with me. That's fine. I'm hoping he just kind of sets up here and we just get 1 turn to just go crazy. He's going to do a little fishing, it looks like. A little gravy fishing for gold. He's probably digging for an ally, if I had to guess. Or a Call to the Grave or something like that. We will see. Gonna guess he grabbed a boat from this. Yep. Okay, so we absolutely have to block it, which is unfortunate. But what we can do is we can block like such. So running the Breeze Riders in this matchup is really nice because with the breaking skills, this one-time boat prevention basically. And we still have a natural line here to go for something if he allows one of these to hit, because we don't have chum up, so we're free to play here. I think this is a turn we can cross trap, if I'm being honest, to take some tempo. I think it's perfectly fair. Hopefully he gives us like 2 cards here. We can. I would use breaking scales in this point too, just to get it over, to be able to grab maybe a retrace, name a descendant to turn Dishonor on when we go for it. That could be really nice. Let's see what he flips. We got another Sunken Treasure. Turned our yellow surging down. Okay, that's fine. Now let's see if he gives us 2 cards here. Or if he gives us just 1 and 1, because I will absolutely pop on Breaking Scales to draw here, and gamble. He doesn't have a react. I wonder if he's got an ally in hand. Classic illusionist problem. In this case, necromancer problem, but you know, same jazz. He did, which is cool. So hopefully he's probably just going to give us 4, right? I'm going to gamble on it here and think that this is a good point in the match, or it could be worth it. And all right, cool. So that hits. We'll order our Whelming to trigger first so that we can draw, and hopefully it's a 0 cost. Okay, not what we wanted, but that's okay. What we're going to do is we're going to pull, and I'm glad I saved it till now, we're going to pull a Retrace out so that we can go Retrace, naming it Descendant, and then bonds into the Dishonor. Because if he doesn't block Dishonor, he just, his hero just sucks. Not being able to play Watery Grave out of your graveyard is crippling. He can't play allies anymore. He also can't search for cards through Gravy's Gold generation. So it genuinely just strips his entire hero. So I'm going to hope he's got a no block in hand. Or if it's a 3 block, he loses Dead Threads here because he has to block it. And in doing so, he's also giving up all tempo because he's going to have to block his whole hand. Oh, he had another nope. Yeah, another ally. Yeah, this is just a good case of saving the headpiece until we needed it. And this is a perfect example of why I think Mask of Pouncing Lynx is so much better than Mask of Momentum in this matchup. Had we had Momentum here, we wouldn't have been able to fish out the Dishonor combo line on this and basically win the game. It's just it gives you so much more flexibility. And yeah, I just think it's such a phenomenal headpiece. But overall, yeah, good playing. A little unfortunate that they didn't draw allies earlier and got stuck with 2 in hand there, but I think we blocked super well when we needed to clear the boat. I think that was a good time for us to pop chest and hold the headpiece for when it mattered, not popping it just for the salt for 7, but for something with a relevant on hit. So overall, super great game. All right, we are running into Arachne Marionette with the Katsu deck. Pretty happy with the build so far on it. This is my current build going into the Nationals, which I will get into as well. I elected to go second on the roll, so we're gonna just try and block some damage early. They probably just flick here. No, I have playing decision. Okay, take 1. Easy with ease. And Stalker's Steps. Interesting choice over the. I guess it's better than the on hit go again, but it is what it is. Guess we'll just do that. Okay, so they have Arsenal Hate kind of set up here, so I think we're gonna definitely just try not to Arsenal. Interesting line here at the Harmony early. We could pop it and see what we get. But I think our best line is just to play cards for damage. Lead with the Surging here. Oh, they're just going to take it off the rip. Okay. So we'll Katsu that into, we'll go to a Bonds just for damage. Nah, won't do that quite yet. Won't do that quite yet. Wrong one. Go to the Whelming. See if they just give us this one. I understand them just giving us the first one. I mean, we have a full hand. They know that we're probably going to hit somehow, so they just let us hit and see the line we're going to go for, and decide whether or not blocking later is better. So I understand the line here they're taking. I'm curious to see if they overblock on this, if fear of the breaking scales early, or what their plan is. Looks like they're blocking with Mask to set up their first turn. So we might be able to punish them if they do that. We'll see what they do. Just refresh it. So they do go with the mask. So this, to me, I think it's worth doing it because we can threaten Dishonor now, which is going to force them to give us 2 more cards, and that is huge. So I'm okay giving up the block value on the scales, and we actually just draw a Descendant naturally. That's pretty crazy. Because we can just play that Descendant, then the Bonds, then the Dishonor. We could do more damage, though, if we do some other stuff. I wonder if it's worth it. I don't think we need to. I think we can just play... Yeah, I think we just go for the line like this. I think they know they're going to have to block a lot here, which we could punish them for. They're probably not going to block this Bonds, knowing that they have Dishonor coming after that is active. Dishonoring Arachne is huge too. It does a lot for us. Which is why I think it was worth popping that. 1, 2, 3, 4. We hit 4 times, which just means Assault would be for 6 here. He's probably going to block the Dishonor with 2 cards for sure. So then the question is it worth throwing 6 more after to put him to 21? I don't know. I mean, it's a tough call. I don't think it's worth. I think it's better for us to hold a block. I think we're just gonna throw it as is, and they give us 2 cards for sure here. They're just giving us Flick Knives, which is pretty good. I'm happy with that. Not having Flick Knives is pretty solid here. Savor Bloodshed into probably the Kiss of Death, which they cannot flick, which is good. So the question is, do we just eat a bunch of damage, or we just block a bunch? I think we have to assume that this is coming in for the Tarantula Toxin, probably, right? So this gets to 10, 6, 9, goes down 10, 11, down 3. So no matter what we do, we don't... we can't banish a card from our hand. So it's interesting. No matter what we do, 3, 5, 4, 3, 5, 5. Possibly there. They do draw a card if they hit, and it has go against, so it's like it's gonna hit regardless. I think it's just best to just do that. We're gonna have to just give up a card. It is what it is. I think they're gonna have Tarantula Toxin, which okay, it doesn't matter. It's 10 anyway. They can't flick, which is cool. We don't lose a card from hand. They're just gonna Arsenal. Oh, yeah, because they don't get Gogan because they weren't Marionette. Duh, because they're just on the ability. So, yeah, pretty good. We're going to pop that and see what we get. Pretty fire, dude. Pretty fire. I think because we can this is some interesting line here. We could pop the cross strap and play this for free to try and make it hit off of the Bonds, and we could pitch this one to the other one. Hopefully we hit. No, we don't want to pass. That's bad. We don't want to pass. This feels like a turn where we could absolutely pop the cross strap for damage here, but it's like, is it better? I'm not gonna. I think we possibly just lose out on too much if we don't. I think we just swing the Bonds for 5. We leave the 1 floating because we can play another Descendant from the bin. Take 2 cards. That's fine. We're gonna take probably a Retrace here. Hope that they play Descendant. We just need to play Surging to make the line work. It's kind of hard to get this to work out. We could do a Fluster Line for damage here. but I think red on the lines, a red in there. So we still have one red in the deck. Yeah, that's fine. There's another 4. I think I like that line more. Give us the option to play another bonds after and put the fluster in the bin. I think he's gonna just take this. Okay, so now we have some thinking to do again. We're gonna probably Katsu this out into, yes, we're get rid of the fluster. We're gonna play another bonds, I think is the best line here. Or we could play the descendant into, we could mask out like a mask out a retrace. God, this is so much thinking in this deck. I'm trying to think if there's a world where we can play a dishonor line here. And I think if we play this descendant, and then no, we surely just have to pull out another bonds. It's just more damage. Not yet on the mask because there's a good chance that yeah, I want to see what they do first on blocks. If they hold cards, what they do. Because we can go bonds here for 5 more. We can go probably fluster here, right? Yeah, it's just worth 5. And then if they let it hit, which they do, 1, 2, 3. This makes this mask worth 5, which means that these 2 are going to come in for 10 total, which will put them to 3. I think that's okay. We're going to go for it. I think it's worth it to play the salt here. I really wish we had Kadachi resources because that would just make it so much better. We get 1 more card from him, which I love. And that's coming in for 6. Puts him to 5 while we're at 29. We still have the cross trap available, which is pretty nice. It's going to allow us to sneak out of 1 bad resource turn. Yeah, that's fine. I don't care if we get Kiss of Death. 7 damage is not a huge deal to me. That's just face damage. It has go again. They have a resource. They could swing Graphene probably. Flick. Oh, I just didn't. They might just be griefing. I mean, they're pretty far behind this match. Very well could just be not throwing, but like, you know, they know they're not gonna get. Maybe not. It might just take the L here. Gust Wave to get 1 in our bin for 3. A block with a toxin. Nice. So here's the question: do we want to E-Strike for 7? Probably, right? Because we're at Kadachi Lock land right now. We have a resource-free, get-out-of-jail-free card, so just puts them to 1. I'm glad because they had to leave no witnesses. That's good. I think playing away, but they do have Codex as a possibility, so we have to remember they could just Codex us. This could just banish a card out of our hand, which would just be really obnoxious. I think I'm going to gamble because I get to choose the card. I'm just going to gamble that this hits one of the other 3. Oh, and it hits hand. That's always the way it goes, isn't it? We'll just banish that. That's fine. Or actually, no, we should probably banish Mugenji and just use the cross strap here. That would make more sense. Because I'm going to just go 5-4-3, and it's just better, I think. Fortunately, we don't have the Dachis this turn, which would have been nice to just Kadachi, pull 2 cards. They do have the Tunic block available, though, so we have to remember that. And also, they let one of these hit, we can still Katsu, so they can't really, they don't want to go to 1 quite yet. Gonna anticipate they're going to probably give us Tunic and a card here. We'll see if they have 2/2 blocks. That's just game. Yeah, the Dishonor Threaten I think was just huge early. That was a really good game. The Dishonor threat early was really big, especially on a 20-point turn. Threatening Dishonor at the end of that line, them getting Dishonored is just like they need to be able to get going, and they need to be able to transform to get value out of their cards. And we just drew the line early, and we were able to kind of finesse a Bond's line out really fast. The draw off of the Descendant for that was pretty lucky. But when they let that hit anyway, my plan, if that didn't draw that, I was just gonna Katsu a retrace and just play that off of the Whelming to call it Descendant, then play the Bonds and then the Dishonor. So like, it allowed us to keep a card. I'm sorry, it would have kept our headpiece. It allowed us to keep our headpiece, which was pretty nice. Which allowed us to salt later. So I mean, it was kind of lucky. If it doesn't, I mean, we did have a pretty healthy life lead. What were they at? Still, we were still at 18. So like, I think we're okay regardless in this match if that hits. But lined up pretty well. They chose to mask early to try and get the value out of it, and we kind of just caught them in a turn that we had the Tsar line. So overall, though, right, we are doing one more here. Katsu versus Dash IO. Another somewhat meta relevant hero right now. Dash getting a lot of play. I opted to go second here. Might have been a bad play because they get to set up a little bit sometimes. But they're just going to play a Tekla and pass here, which works for me. They're on the pretty basic blocking setup here. I think I kind of like the play to pitch a blue here to Descendant into a CNC to try and disrupt that arsenal they have. And then set up my Descendant for next turn. I am running Snapdragons here as opposed to the block Breeze Briders. And they just let it hit, which is annoying. I unfortunately didn't even have another card to Katsu off of. It was kind of bricky. But we're just going to throw CNC at them and try and disrupt that arsenal. Either pull 2 cards, force them to crown, get rid of it early. Hopefully we draw something nice. But in a lot of the aggro matchups, I've been trying Snapdragons over the Breeze Riders because in a game like this where if you just don't block... if you don't get a good block early or use out of it early, you just can stall. You brick too fast, they take tempo, and you just lose the game. So I've been liking playing snaps in this place because it can get you out of kind of one more hand for free. And I haven't needed the Breeze Riders nearly as much with the new Tempest. So, all right, so they're just swinging a zipper for 3 here. I'm going to pass, I think, on that guy. We do have this nice Flick Flack to save us some health. So I think we're going to probably be focusing a little more on blocking this turn. I think we're probably going to block 3 on the zipper. I think we're going to try and save health just a little bit. Usually, I recommend just racing this matchup, but on a hand where we... they Cerebellum'd off the top, which is kind of unlucky for us, but we don't have to worry about boom grenades off the top for the rest of the matchup, which is nice. Wow, they're going to set up twice. That's pretty nice. Cerebellum off the top into a Spark of Genius. Surprised they didn't grab a second Cerebellum, but that's okay. Plan on blocking out regardless. So we still have an equipment block. We got the Flick Flack, which makes one of these a 5 blocks, so we can cover up quite a bit of damage. 5. So we'll block 1, and then we'll Flick Flack to cover that. Which is pretty good. See what they got next. Throttle for 4, that's fine. I will block with that for 5. We're just really trying to save as much health as we can, I think. Dang. Yeah, unfortunately. Here's the question now. Is it worth just giving up masks so we don't get hit for, like, a ton? I think it's fine. We're going to get hit for 2 here. And then 4, so 6. We go to 34. And then that's fine. They don't draw a card off of Cerebellum this way, which I'm surprised they went to take 2 damage over that. We're just going to pass. And hopefully draw a better line. And this isn't too bad. We got a nice harmony here. We have the Descendant, a retrace. So we got 2, 4, and 5 go again. They do have a good block here. This is a 5 block bind. But hopefully they don't have anything too crazy here. And we just have to eat a little damage and swing back harder. And hopefully we can. we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Over that last turn though was pretty solid. They threw what 4? Oh, that's the banner stone. Great here. 3, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 with the symbiosis, and then 4, so 23. Pretty good. I only took 6 damage from a 23-point hand, which is, in my opinion, pretty good. I think they're kind of digging for stuff though, because they don't. They search for the boom grenade, which is pretty solid. I saw the tech load already, so they probably don't have a great first hand, or they were just looking for an item off the top. I'm not sure, but we'll see. Yeah, we'll just choose a card. That's fine. I'm just not going to block. We'll take 8. We'll go to 20 here. Probably going to draw off of Cerebellum here if I had to guess. We probably end up taking a little more and going down to like 10, 15 here if I had to take a wild shot. Hopefully, fingers crossed, this Ancestral hits us with something. Dang, that's so unlucky. A heist is so good because they can just throw. Yeah, we gotta play. We've committed to taking it. I think we can throw a lot of damage back. So hopefully we hit off this Ancestral and we can do some damage. They put a Tech Core out. I was assuming they don't have another attack then. That's cool. So we go to 13. I'm not terribly upset yet. If this whiffs, we'll be sad. Yikes. That is Katsu living. We're just going to cross trap here. And we're just going to swing for 4. And hopefully they just give us some blocking cards. They're going to have to. Or they're just going to take it early. Alright, so we can do some stuff. We're going to Katsu. Let's go for... Probably need a pretty big line of damage here. Which I think is going to end up being... Dishonoring them doesn't, like, do a lot this late. They already have items out. They're going to just try and do a huge turn, so I think we just got pressure damage. We have snaps available, so we can think of the most damaging line. I think pulling a Bonds out... We have a Whelming, but that's not anything crazy. I think we need to get rid of the Salt here. Probably need a Bonds just for the damage output. And then we'll Mask too here. We're gonna just have to, I think. It's a real bummer Tempest is a 3 cost, you know? And then we may just snap on the Whelming to play the Retrace to get the Fluster to work. Yeah, we'll go Bonds here for 5. Banishing. We'll probably banish his Whelming, because then we can play the Whelming, play the Retrace, play the Retrace, play the Fluster. So we'll see how much damage. They don't see the Fluster yet, so this kind of does not... It doesn't give away the information that we're going to go for the Fluster line, which is really good. I think they're probably going to assume we have like a Tempest and we're going to try and go for a draw card off Whelming or something like that. So we want to just kind of hide what we're going for. And we can kind of do some sneaky stuff here with the Retrace that we have. Which is we're going to snap this to give it go again. They're probably confused. Maybe not. Maybe they're like, okay, we didn't have another Gust Wave because we didn't have a Tempest in the bin. So we had to find a way to do something else. And I will absolutely use Breaking Scales here to make it hit, to give us the +1 damage off of for Fluster, because I think that's really big. We're going to play, has to be a Gust Wave, so let's call it Tempest Palm Gust Wave. And we'll call the next one, oh yeah, it has to be Open the Center, duh. We could have maybe gone, I don't think it matters actually, they just know they're taking damage here. This one's going to be Open the Center. Is it enough to get over the top? I don't think so. It's going to come in for a little bit, but like not enough. Not enough to kill him, which is unfortunate. It just puts him to 2, which is pretty good. What did we do? It's in it for 4, 9, 4, 9, 14, 24. This is 34. I mean, 34 on turn 3 is pretty good. They just had a really, really crazy first turn. But, I mean, that's Kadachi lock territory for us. So, like, if we can just block a couple cards, we'll see. We'll see what happens. This is going to be tight for sure. I'm assuming the soup up. I'm surprised they kept the cog around. I'm not sure. I'm curious the tech with the cog, and what they're gonna go for here. Because we can, like I said, we can take 11 damage. So if we can block, we can take 12 damage, and we can block 3 and keep a Kadachi Descendant into Ancestral Hand. So I think we just have to take a little damage early and see what they have, because there's no Boom Grenade, so we don't have to worry about that. If they just have the nuts, they have the nuts. There's nothing we can do about it. But hopefully, probably Teklo here. Oh, it plays out of hand. Yeah, cranking. It's yellow. Surprised they didn't play that first and then swing and attack, but yikes. That just kills us, so we have to block 6 here. Hopefully they don't have another one that's over 3. It's a good chance they do and we just die. Or he's looking for an item of some sort off the top. Oh, he's only got a hyper scrapper, but he's got no hyper drives in here, so yeah, interesting. I mean, it's just, how is it coming in for 6? It just gets that. I see. It just gets plus X. That's crazy. For however many cards you want to bench. Wow. Well, this is lethal right here, so we just need to block something. If we block 2, take 4, 5, 6, 7, go to 2, then we Kadachi, we take 1 card out of their hand. Or we just take 4 and go to 5 and don't play back. They have a full grip with 2 resources for free. We probably just die. So I think we just have to gamble. They have a block on Foundry Heart too, so they can block on Foundry. Oh, yeah, actually, they just probably win this. Them finding that boom, having that to end it out for 6 is crazy. So another 4, 10, yeah, another 16. Pretty good, pretty good. I think us having to full block that first turn kind of killed us. If we could have not had to block a 20 plus pointer, it was what it is. I wonder if going first makes this matchup better. It's rough choice. We just have to gamble they don't get an item off the top or out of their hand to set up and pass. But yeah. I mean, I'm pretty content. I mean, we did a lot of damage in this game. We threatened a lot. They get a boom grenade off the top. That's probably just game. Getting the extra action point. They did also find. I mean, we can pray they have no attack actions, right? That's the only other thing we can really gamble on. But they have the weapon. They'll have the action points. They probably just clear us out this game. I don't think we could have gone for a bigger line. I think that was kind of just all we could do that turn. I mean, 34 felt pretty good. Yeah, then you can see. So you can also Teklo off this to change that top card, which is pretty good. Yeah, maybe going first in this matchup's better. We just deny them a setup and just threaten damage. It's really hard to know. They ended up getting a boom grenade and a yeah, because we have to block 4 or else we just die here. We have to just gamble on who gets the top card and who doesn't here. Yeah, and from here out they can just any attack kills us. Yeah. Oh, that's a tough one. That was a really tough one because I mean we definitely, and they had no more cards and attacks in hand, which is crazy actually. They just drew all their boom grenades. I think they saw all of them, if not most. 2 reds and a yellow and 4 turn. I mean, it's pretty good, but what did they threaten? 71. Yeah. 23, 19, 19, 10. I mean, that's just is how it is. We threatened 34 and wired 1 turn. Our going first turn, we only threatened 9, I think was kind of unfortunate. We just didn't have a great opening hand. I think we have a better of an opening hand here. Maybe threaten more than 9, maybe like a 10, 15-ish. Decent conversion hand. We're good. And then we did block 15, take 19 to throw 34. I'm not sure if somewhere in there maybe it's worth it to take a little block in there. But, they saw 2 Spark of Geniuses. They saw 3 Boom Grenades, and they saw 2 Cerebellum Processors in 4 turns. So sometimes that's just how she goes. Definitely could have maybe gone first and maybe would have gone differently. Who knows? But regardless, super good game. A lot of fun. Thanks for checking it out.